This is a piece of wrought iron. It's an anchor chain from a 100-year-old naval ship. And today I'm going to use it to make a knife. This knife will be in the sanmai style of construction. It will have a hardenable steel core, which means it can be used to cut, and this wrought iron will be the outside of the blade construction. This cannot be hardened, so I can't use it as my blade edge, but it makes for a really cool design when it's all finished out. The handle style will be a sculpted style in the more contemporary version of an American Bowie. And yeah, so that's what I've got for you today. Stay tuned if you want to see the results.
While I'm waiting on my chunk of wrought iron to heat up, I'm going to go ahead and start preparing the heart of my knife from a round bar of white paper steel. Before I can incorporate this cutting steel into my billet, I'll need to use my press to convert it into a proportion of bar stock that will mate up with the rest of my steel. With both of my materials cleaned and resized, I can go ahead and start tacking things together and prepping my billet for the forge weld.
This piece of steel is now ready to be welded up in the forge. I've got it tacked together. There's a piece of wrought iron on each side of a hardenable core, a piece of white paper steel. And what I'm going to do now is add some WD-40 basically in between the seams of the steel, and that's going to keep it from oxidizing inside, and it's going to allow me to weld without using borax.
Fast. I love to fall into the rhythm of forging. I'm moving straight from making my weld into sculpting a Bowie. So much of the forging process is about balancing control and reasonable expectations. The steel can only do so much, but you cannot let yourself be afraid of testing out those limits. Every success builds new confidence from which you can harvest momentum and growth. I've left the bevels of my knife thicker than I would normally so that I can use my press to add laddering. This will be a simple yet impactful way of adding some personality to the knife and matching all of the parts of this piece together to convey the feeling that I'm going for. To reveal the ladder patterning on the wrought, I'll need to zip off some of the steel with my grinder. To keep everything flat and true, I'll be setting up and cross-referencing with my measuring tools. It doesn't add much time, and it does end up saving time that could be wasted on course correction. When setting out my handles, the mill is my best friend. I'm starting off by slotting a single lobe guard and creeping in with a hand file and a crushed pipe to get a nice tight fit up against the ricasso. I've decided on a piece of Mexican bocote for this buoy. Its bold, contrasting colors and figure will dovetail right into the wild lines of the blade. Handle material nearly never is sold in truly flat and square dimensions. For that reason, it's in any bladesmith's best interest to develop a process for doing so before they start using a piece of wood. I find a surfacing mill paired with a scrap of pipe, some 1/4-inch pin stock, and a few sizes of parallel bars to be the best thing I have handy for this task. It may not be the most high-tech solution, but sometimes you have to work with what you have, and creativity is a craftsman's best friend. I use Teflon tape as a sort of mold release when bedding the tang of a blade into its handle. With everything mated up tightly, I can make templates to map out the sculpting and keep anything from shifting to wreck my fit up during the shaping process. With the wake of dust and sparks, a buoy takes its final few moments as raw parts before coming to rest as its whole self. This moment is the most peaceful part of the process. Mistakes and hurdles along the way have been set right. There is nothing left to do but breathe in and experience the view at the end of a hard hike. And, after a rest, climb again. A buoy?